Okay. I had just talked to Dirty. I already had a deal for him. I had a deal and a plan. My deal was like, you come home, I built a gym for you. I got an apartment in Manhattan, 5,000 square feet, studio already. I got girls I can send you. I'm serious.
Right.
I was like, yo, I got you, God. My shit was maybe $950. I didn't have the M. And he's like, cool. And then I flew to Europe for a couple of weeks. And then I found out from the press.
I'm looking forward to a future with Roc-A-Fella, you know what I'm saying?
What was the first thing you wanted to do when you were released?
The first thing I wanted to do, give my mother a hug.
We all know the story between ODB and RZA. Two cousins who built an empire together. But all of a sudden, old Dirty Bastard comes out of prison in 2003 and almost immediately signs with Roc-A-Fella Records. Fans at the time saw it as a simple move. Dame Dash probably put a bigger check on the table and ODB grabbed it. But the truth is rarely that simple. I personally think the real reason ODB chose Dame Dash over RZA runs way deeper than money. In this video, I'm going to explain why I think ODB chose Dame Dash over RZA, the real reason nobody is talking about. So let's get into it. When people talk about the Wu-Tang Clan, they usually talk about the music, but behind all of that was a blueprint that RZA put together. RZA didn't just want to make records, he wanted to build an empire. From the start, he structured Wu-Tang more like a family business than a regular rap group. Instead of locking everyone into airtight contracts, he relied on trust. He gave each member the freedom to sign solo deals with different labels as long as the Wu brand stayed intact. There weren't thick legal documents between cousins like RZA, GZA, and ODB. It was more like, we're family, let's just split the pie.
So my thing was every label should get a Wu vibe to help elevate the label, the culture, the money, everything. Cause I was like, this is, everybody gonna pop. You know what I mean?
And there's power in having it distributed across multiple labels. And Meth already was at Def Jam.
Meth was at Def Jam. We already talked with Steve about he wanted to keep Ray. You know, he wanted Ray and GZA. But Geffen came too strong, you know what I mean? Which we was like, nah, we're gonna go with Geffen. But Geffen just came with a $500,000 for GZA, you know what I mean?
And then even you with Gravediggers went to G Street.
Yeah.
Like everyone literally went someplace else.
Yep. And everything went gold and platinum.
To RZA, this wasn't risky. He believed loyalty would hold stronger than any lawyer-written clause. And for a while, it worked. The clan became a movement because everyone bought into RZA's long game. But when real money started flowing and solo careers took off, the lack of formal contracts turned from a symbol of love into a point of tension. Some members felt underpaid. Others felt like RZA and his brother, who helped manage business, were holding too much power.
When you sit back and you think of this organization, it's really like dealing with 5 families. Everybody's not going to be on the same page no more, because at one point we were. But then after a while, like I said, too many things that are small things that become problems. Now it's too many of them. So you have to say to yourself, you got to take some kind of responsibility, but at the same time, you got to go where the problem is at too. And a lot of times the problem became with this guy. You know what I mean? With how he was dealing with certain things, or how him and RZA being brothers, how the clan is feeling like at some point, yo, hold up. That's his brother though. You know what I mean? Like, good dude though. But are they trying to one for you, one for me, two for you, 1, 2 for me shit?
RZA said that recording Wu-Tang Forever was kind of the start of the decline of the group.
Problem is with him, he wanted everybody to be underneath his punk ass. And Dirty used to say that shit all fucking time, call us robots and all that shit. I ain't realized what it was until we was older.
Now put all these next to old Dirty Bastard and the type of person he was. He lived in the moment, no calculations, no waiting for the perfect setup. What came out of his mouth was whatever he felt in that second. Before prison, ODB was the wild heart of Wu-Tang. Where RZA was disciplined, ODB was unpredictable. He could walk into a studio and turn chaos into magic. His energy was the kind you can't teach. That difference in personality was beautiful. RZA needed someone like ODB to balance his careful planning. ODB needed someone like RZA to give shape to his raw creativity. For RZA, success was about patience and strategy. For ODB, success was about feeling alive right now.
If Old Dirty didn't exist, then the rest of the Wu don't understand what freedom means, freedom of expression. If we was doing this interview right now and Dirty walked in, whatever he wanted to do is what is going to happen and we're going to do. Cameras are nothing. None of that mean nothing.
All right.
If he had to piss and he came in and pissed in this container right here, he would have did it and left, and it would have just been like,
foul.
That's just what foul. But real.
We would have been like, God damn.
He was the vessel for the motivation. You know what I mean? He was the make RZA see right what it is. You know what I mean? Because see, RZA, one thing about RZA's a shy dude. So he needed a cheerleader that was giving him shit that he needed to realize he had. Dirty was the one.
But the same dynamic that made their partnership work also meant they were always on a different wavelength. By the late 90s, the Wu-Tang Clan was a worldwide name. But inside the group, things were getting messy. Money changes everything, and the family-first model that RZA built started to feel shaky once the checks got bigger. A lot of members began to speak quietly about RZA not always playing fair. Some felt that he and his brother Divine, who handled the business side, had too much control. Others thought RZA's big master plan wasn't paying off evenly for everyone.
For us, it was like letting our brother control a situation that we knew he was good at. And he was a made guy, so it's like everybody trusted him. And he did everything I guess he could do to the power to get it there. But when it came down to the business side of it, a lot of the members still felt like, yo, what's going on? Like, where's my ROI? Dudes was still like, okay. Meaning like, okay, we waiting for an envelope later on, or what's gonna happen, or whatever the case may be. So that was always in the back of dudes' mind, like, yo.
Remember, this was a crew of 9 strong personalities. They all wanted solo success, and they all had people in their ear telling them they deserved more. When your career is blowing up and you're still tied to a system built on trust instead of contracts, every decision starts to feel personal. Wu-Tang was still family, but the bond didn't feel as unbreakable as it did in the early days. The clan was becoming less like a tight family, and everyone was harboring some hidden criticism about the leadership of Wu-Tang. Then came the turning point. ODB's legal troubles caught up with him, and he went to prison in 2001. Prison does something to a person. It strips away the noise and leaves you with nothing but your thoughts. You start to notice who really shows up for you. And for ODB, the answer was painful. It wasn't the Wu-Tang brothers who came to visit him the most. It was his mother. She was the one who consistently came through those prison gates to see him week after week. When you're sitting in a cell and the people you thought would ride for you don't show up, it forces you to question everything. The family-first model RZA preached started to feel like just another industry promise. By the time ODB got out, trust wasn't something he could give away freely anymore. He had lived through betrayal, or at least what felt like betrayal. Even if RZA still loved him, love without presence doesn't mean much when you've spent years locked in a box. This is where Dame Dash came in. Dame approached ODB the way he approached everything, bold and direct. He offered a real contract, clear terms, no promises of some big payoff years down the line, just a deal on paper and a chance to jump right back into the spotlight. And let's be honest, Roc-A-Fella also had the juice. Signing there meant being part of the hottest movement in hip-hop at that moment. On one side, RZA's slow-moving master plan built on trust. On the other side, Dame Dash with a clear contract, a bag of money, and an offer to get moving immediately. For someone like ODB, someone who lived in the moment and had lost trust in the family system, the choice almost made itself. To really understand ODB's decision, you also have to look at his mental state.
Most people come home from jail
in shape.
But the people that come home that gain weight are mainly depressed because Jail food sucks, so that means they had to go to the commissary and eat all those dirty snacks.
Commissary is all junk food.
That's where the Hydrox are. That's where the Oreos are. That's where the Twinkies are. That's where all that is. So that's a sign of depression.
He couldn't take it.
Yeah.
They said he tried to set himself on fire in jail.
Shit.
I saw the documentary. It said, Dirty tried to set himself on fire in jail.
Wow.
He couldn't take that. This guy is free. So when he comes out, you seeing a very suppressed energy.
Mm-hmm.
Old Dirty Bastard wasn't just eccentric. He was a man carrying heavy struggles. He dealt with addiction. He wrestled with mental health issues. The world loved his wild energy, but few people saw the toll it took behind closed doors. A system like RZA's required patience, trust, and clear thinking. It meant sitting through long talks about long-term plans. That's hard for anyone, but for ODB, it was nearly impossible. What Dame Dash offered wasn't just a contract. It was simplicity, clear terms, clear money, clear next steps. For someone trying to stay grounded, a signed document might feel safer than a cousin's verbal promise. I personally think Roc-A-Fella gave him the closest thing to stability he could recognize, at least on paper. Anyway, that's it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the other videos on the channel where we explore hip-hop history from different angles.